queens, welcome back to my channel. My name is Vanna Renee Graham and welcome. If this is your first time here, subscribe. For today's video, I am doing this really simple look. I really do like how it turned out. I'm diving into multiple palettes, and yeah, enough with all that chit chat. So without further ado, let's get into the makeup. Okay, so this is where we are at. Woo. I have nothing on my face. I know, where have I been? I don't know. I've just been thinking. I'm trying to put all the things that I want to put into my channel, actually doing them. So, like the story times and stuff like that. I've been really trying to plan that stuff. I'm going to take this LA Girl Pro Concealer in the shade Fine and just cover up some acne problems right now. And this is going to blend into my foundation. So, and then the primer, I should have put this on first, but I forgot. The primer I've been using is the e.l.f. the putty primer. To me, it's really like the to me, I wonder if it's really like the Tatcha primer. I think I'm gonna buy the Tatcha primer, which that primer is not cheap. I'm gonna buy it and like see if they compare, but for the most part, every time I use this primer, I stay matte. Okay, and for foundation, I'm going to be using the Huda Beauty Foundation in Mocha 50G. This foundation is really good for like people who have oily skin. It definitely mattifies you. Okay, and for concealer, I kind of want to do like a full coverage concealer. So I think I'm going to be using the Morphe concealer. This concealer, I literally have to do like one eye at a time because it dries down like very quickly. Okay, normally I would let that sit there for a little bit, but not this time. We're just gonna, I'm just gonna blend this out real quick with the Morphe E8 brush. Okay, so now that I have that worked into the skin, I'm going to set my whole face before I go on top of it with powders. The reason being is because I've noticed that when I went on top of like my cream base with powders, it kind of just looks like it's dragging. And then I'm going to go, before I do that, I'm going to go over my concealer a little bit with my foundation brush. I do this just to make sure there's no harsh lines. Okay, and I'm going to set my under eye with the Sasha Buttercup Banana Powder. And I'm just going to use the same sponge that I used to blend out my concealer. Okay, so then I'm going to set the rest of my face with this Laura Mercier, your Laura Mercier Translucent Medium Deep Powder. Okay, so now that I have that, I know I look extra crazy. While that's baking, I'm going to bronze up the face with my Full Spectrum CoverGirl powder in the shade Ebony. Okay, so I feel like I look really matte. So I'm going to go ahead and fill in my eyebrows. I think filling in eyebrows is like the worst part, honestly. It takes forever. You want them to look so much alike, and if they don't, you feel like you have to start over. I know that's how I feel. So the two things I use to fill in my brows is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow in the shade Ebony, and then I use this Essence Lash and Brow mascara. I've had this for a minute. If it does, if you guys have the pomade at home, what I notice is if it does tend to dry out a little bit, I like to spray like some Fix Plus or some Morphe setting spray in there, just so it's not too dry, because I know it's kind of hard to work with if it's too dry. And I don't spray a lot, I just spray a little bit. So I sprayed a little bit of that in there, and it kind of makes the product easier for me to manipulate. Okay, so I already did one eye off camera. I had no clue what I was gonna do. Okay, so for the first shade, I am going into the Saharan 2 palette, and I'm using this shade right here. I'm using these two shades pretty much as my like crease shade, and then I'm using that to blend out the crease shade. Okay, and to blend that out, I'm gonna go on top of that shade with this. It's kind of like a burnt orange shade. It doesn't really show up that well. I mean, it's okay. And then I'm just like, I'm tapping into the product and just going into circular motions. Okay, now that I have that color packed on, I like to take the same brush that I use for the really dark pink shade and go back and forth in windshield wiper motion. And then just make sure those colors are like seamlessly blended. I go in circular motions. To blend that top shade out, I'm gonna take this Wet n Wild brush and I just like buff it all the way out. Okay, so now that I have that crease cut, I'm gonna go in with the ABH, and I'm gonna use the shade Doilas right here, and I'm just gonna pop this shade in the center. And then in the front of that shade, I'm gonna take this really neon yellow shade, and I'm gonna pack that shade in front of the Doilas shade. And then I'm going to deepen out that outer corner with the same like pinkish shade I used before. Okay, and that's pretty much it for the eyes. I really do like how they turned out. I'm going to be popping on my favorite lashes. They're by Miss Cutie. Okay, so I got my lashes on. And to set my brows, I'm going to be using this SE Brow Gel. So for highlighter, I'm going to use this Maybelline highlighter. Okay, for lip, I want to do like a dark lip, so we're gonna do this Evil Twin by Too Faced. Okay, so and for under eye, I think I want to take a little bit of this shade right here and kind of just use the same exact brush that I used earlier. No need to dirty any brushes, and just smoke this underneath. And then I'm going to take the same brush I used earlier and just kind of smoke that out. Okay guys, that's it for today's video. I really do like how this look turned out. Don't forget to subscribe and leave some content that you would like for me to do down in the comment section, and I'll see you guys soon in my next video. Bye!